Hey guys, welcome to The Strong Young Man. As humans, it is in our nature to have an unreasonably high opinion of ourselves. We act as though we are above doing bad things, and that it must take a truly horrible person to commit acts of evil. We view ourselves in the best possible light, and if we happen to do something bad, we look outwards, trying to blame other people or other circumstances for what we did. This way, we maintain our idealistic perception of ourselves. We maintain that we are not corrupt. The truth is that all humans have evil in their heart. We only need to look back over the last 100 years to see things such as Unit 731, Gulag prison camps, the Holocaust, Stanford prison experiment, and Milgram experiment. The evil nature of humans is confirmed in the scriptures. After God was betrayed by Eve, then Adam, then their firstborn son, Cain, he says, "Never again will I curse the ground because of humans, even though every inclination of the human heart is evil from childhood." Genesis chapter 8, verse 21. It is imperative that you understand that all humans are capable of evil. To be ignorant of any human's capability to do evil will leave you more vulnerable to evil acts being committed against you. Your failure to acknowledge that everyone is capable of evil can also leave you vulnerable to cognitive dissonance that can arise when evil is aimed at us. If we don't believe in evil, then how can we justify the evil done to us when it happens? To be ignorant of your own capability of doing evil will mean that you are more capable of committing acts of evil yourself. When a person ignorant of their own ability to do evil performs an evil act, then they will seek to justify their actions and insist that they are doing good in order to maintain their high opinion of themselves. This statement is emphasized in the Gulag Archipelago by Aleksandr Solzhenitsyn. He says, "To do evil, a human being must first of all believe that what he is doing is good, or that it's a well-considered act in conformity with law. Fortunately, it is in the nature of the human being to seek a justification for his actions. Failure to become conscious of your ability to do evil makes you more likely to do evil. This is because you fail to consider that any act that you could do could be evil, and the lack of reflection means that you are more reckless in your actions. Until the day Hitler took his own life, he believed that he was virtuous. He believed he was fulfilling the will of God. He was unable to become conscious of his ability to do evil, and was thus unable to come to terms with his evil conduct." Carl Jung, one of the founding fathers of modern psychology, expressed that man's worst sin is unconsciousness. He also suggested that a high degree of consciousness, on the other hand, is characterized by a heightened awareness, a preponderance of will, directed rational behaviour, and an almost total absence of instinctual determinants. Even the serpent in the Garden of Eden in the book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 5, knew that consuming fruit from the tree of knowledge allows one to have their eyes open to knowing good from evil. Accept that you, like everyone else, has the ability to do evil. If you think of yourself as a loaded weapon capable of mass destruction, then you will handle yourself with a lot more care. By accepting this, you will also be able to see your darker qualities for what they really are. You will be able to contrast your darker qualities with your brighter qualities. Think of this like contrasting colours, where we can see a light colour more easily when it is next to a dark colour. Seeing the darkness in you will make the light more apparent. St. Paul expressed this in his scripture, saying everything is shown up by being exposed to the light. And whatever is exposed to the light itself becomes light. The book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 13. Lurking beneath everyone's polite, friendly exterior is a dark side, consisting of the insecurities and aggressive, selfish impulses suppressed and concealed from public view. Carl Jung describes this as the shadow, and following on from this notion, I'm going to demonstrate how you can obtain mastery over your shadow. Number 1, recognise the shadow in others. The people we know and associate with appear honourable, kind, pleasant, and loving on the surface. But every now and then we see glimpses of strange behaviour which contradicts the avatar to which we previously categorised them. Understand that these are glimpses of the outline of their shadow, bursting to emerge to release the inner tension created by years of childhood repressions. It will often come out at times where people are drunk, frustrated, angry, stressed, or simply too tired to suppress their dark side. Sudden glimpses may also come about when their desires, anxieties, and insecurities are triggered. Their shadow can manifest itself in any form of strange behaviour, such as disproportional anger or aggression. This is often the sign that someone has been triggered by a desire, anxiety, or insecurity that they hide from the world. Strange fetishes. This emerges to fulfil unmet needs in childhood. Excessively preaching one's beliefs. This often indicates the opposite desire of a person's shadow, especially if their behaviour goes against what they preach. Denial or extreme avoidance of something. This often indicates a person's true intention. Projection of secret desires onto others. Accusing other people of things that they aren't can reveal truths about the hidden desires or traits of a person. You must recognise this shadow in others and don't take anything personally when it comes out. Concentrate on body language. Pay close attention to facial expressions and tone, as well as the words that are being said. It is very easy and can even be entertaining to try and interpret a person's dark side from their behaviours. People are almost always unaware of their own shadow. Due to the deep emotional trauma that these emotions carry, it is often something that is too painful for people to explore. It is sent into emotional exile, deep into the shadow. Once you determine the darker side of a person, it can give you valuable information to their psychology, which you can use to anticipate their behaviour during stress or to charm and seduce their affections. Number 2, recognise your own shadow. Be aware of and evaluate your own shadow. Like others, your dark side will consist of the insecurities and aggressive, selfish impulses repressed since childhood. If we accumulate a lot of hurt and resentments in our life, our shadow grows thicker. Like a mirror, you must look carefully at your own reflection and how the world sees you, noting any imperfections. You need to evaluate your own shadow as carefully as you would someone else's to see what dark behaviours manifest within you. This will be the key to identify the makings of your own shadow and working out what desires, anxieties, and insecurities lay beneath the surface. On your journey to self-awareness, you can work to resolve these issues, as discussed in episode 16. Understand that recognising and accepting that you have a shadow is extremely uncomfortable. Nothing is more disappointing to humans than to discover their own inadequacies. If you can see this shadow for what it is and bear knowing about it, then you are on the way to resolving your issues. The shadow is a living aspect of your personality, and by bringing up the personal unconscious, it is able to live in some form. It cannot be argued out of existence or rationalised into harmlessness. Recognising your shadow is the pathway to recognising your ability for good and to do good. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. Start this now. Think of a time where you were ashamed of your behaviour or a deep secret desire of yours. Evaluate what your feelings were at a time where the shadow emerged and explore why that might be. Trace back what you believe you have been missing since childhood. There are probably many past experiences that you can draw on to learn about yourself. Over time, you'll be presented with more opportunities to evaluate and determine the fundamentals of your shadow. Learn to confront this shadow before it becomes toxic. If you repress the shadow, behavioural leakages will emerge in unconscious ways that you cannot control. As humans, we like to believe that we are always in control of our emotions. The fact that something that we don't know about could be controlling us causes us great anxiety. Our natural response to learning about the darker qualities lurking within the subconscious mind is to exclude ourselves from susceptibility. It is always other people who are evil. It is human nature to think highly of ourselves. If we behave in a destructive way, then we seek to justify this behaviour by assigning blame to circumstances outside of our control or the toxic influence of other people. You must be extremely careful of this delusional tendency within yourself. Accepting the darker qualities within yourself will allow you to become humbler. It will allow you to accept that you are not as perfect as you think you are, which will prevent cognitive dissonance from controlling your life. Your unconscious will no longer have control over you. Through embracing your shadow, it can actually facilitate greatness by channeling the insecurities and aggressive, selfish impulses into the creative energies that lurk in your unconscious. Number 3, master your shadow. The dark emotions of your own shadow can be useful emotions if used in a productive way. They can be used to power you forward into achieving things that you thought impossible. There is no shortage of examples of people who have experienced trauma, who injected it into their music or creative arts, and excel more than they would have had they not had the traumatic experience. Aggression can be a positive force if used productively for sports. People who excel in their field often do so because they have obtained mastery over their shadow. Michael Jordan, Steve Jobs, and Albert Einstein were all successful because they were able to channel their shadow into their creative endeavours. They displayed their shadow, rather than being bound by it. They didn't think over what other people thought of them. Learn to maximise the utility of your shadow. See it as a tactic that you can employ to take you to new heights. Remember that no positive can come from suppressing your shadow. Suppressing these dark characteristics takes energy. The more we suppress, the more we need to suppress. This has a dam wall-like effect where it requires increasing energy to hold everything back the more it builds up. The hurt and resentments compound over time to the point where you cannot hold it back anymore, and it will emerge. The more we try to resist the shadow, the more it will try to manifest in strange behaviours. The shadow will come out in order to release the inner tension. It is far more productive to confront your shadow, conserve the energy spent repressing the shadow, and then channel the energy into your creative endeavours. One thing to note before the conclusion of today's lesson: you should never become completely immersed in anyone until you have evaluated their shadow. While someone's light side will bring you happiness, it is their dark side that will cause you the most grief down the line. Make sure you understand the darker aspects of someone's shadow before giving yourself over completely to them, and avoid the extremely toxic types to sidestep their collateral damage. Final thought: in the same way that everyone is capable of evil, everyone is also capable of good. Orson Scott Card superbly captures this reversal in his novel Speaker for the Dead. No human being, when you understand his desires, is worthless. No one's life is nothing. Even the most evil of men and women, if you understand their hearts, had some generous act that redeems them at least a little from their sins. Thanks for watching today's episode. In episode 20, I'll talk about physical health and fitness. Subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified when it drops. Catch you then.